the boss wielding power of the ancient order. Believe the dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, the dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed and the legend yet grows. You'll know the dragonborn's come.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit. Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
All right. Hello, everybody. We're going to do a Beyond Skyrim dev stream. I'm going to show you guys some of what I've been working on. We're going to run through Bravil Castle, because I'm working on that one right now. But yeah, first I'll just introduce myself. I go by Twin Crows, as well as Possessed Lemon sometimes. And I've been creating mods for a few years now. I really only started after Skyrim Special Edition came out, and at that point I kind of kicked it off. I learned a lot, and I've been able to produce these mods now. Eventually I kind of got into the Beyond Skyrim team. I just applied. They have an application on their website that you can apply for too if you're interested in joining. And yeah, I've been working on the project for about a year now. There's lots of stuff I can show you guys, but I'll be mostly focusing on the stuff that I've been building. Today we're going to do a lot of Bravil Castle, which is what you see right now. But yeah, let me know if there's any technical issues at all with the stream, because I have Streamlabs open right now. I can fix anything, as well as any volume issues. I'm going to turn the music back up a bit. But yeah, so I think the first thing I want to do is I'm going to hop over to Skyrim itself. It might be a little bit loud when it boots up. And we're going to run through Bravil Castle. I'm going to take a few notes on things I want to change for this session. Hello, Cactus Bob. Hello, how are you doing? So I'm going to run through, I'm going to take some notes, and then we're going to keep working on it. Today I really want to do a bunch for the dungeon. There's a prison in Bravil, so I've been thinking of working on that one a little bit more, as well as some of the other areas around Bravil Castle, because it actually has quite a few rooms to it. So I hope you enjoy this stream today. It'll be about 2 hours, I think. I'm trying to make them a little bit shorter, because I have gone on for 4-hour streams before, but it's kind of nice for me to have my own time to relax as well. Alright, we're booting up. And yeah, if you guys have any questions at all about modding Skyrim, just let me know. Wow, just gonna reach over for my controller here. Alright. What's the cell name? Ah, yes. CYR Bravil Castle. Alright. So it's looking a little dark. I do like that though. It's nice to have contrast. It's quite bright. Hello, Arthas Menethil. Yeah, I'd like to do something with this chandelier. It's kind of, the chain is just kind of sticking into the ceiling, but before I critique it too much, I'm just going to take you guys on a tour. We're looking very Skyrim right now, so I think the first thing I want to do is change into clothing. But that is the throne room up there. We'll be back there in a little bit. But first we're going to go through to the barracks. And we're going to get some Bravil Guard armor. So right now, I've been finishing up the layout for Bravil Castle. There's no NPCs in it yet. That'll happen at a later stage, but for now, what I'd like to do is take you guys on a quick tour around. I'm going to pick up some armor. Here, one sec. It's looking a little bit framey, I think. At least on my side. So what I'm gonna do is tell my OneDrive to stop syncing, because it does that sometimes. One sec. Alright, there we go. Should be a little bit better now. As soon as I alt-tab back in. Arthas, you like the bigger shields. Skyrim was annoying with their shields mostly being rather small. Yeah, it's interesting. I love the 3D art for Beyond Skyrim. It's just phenomenal. Here we go, we're back in now, I think. Let me know if the frames are bad, because it looks a little bit bad to me, but it might just be because I'm in full screen right now. So I'm just get myself decked out in Cyrodiil armor. There we go, there's the shield. Alright, it's gonna go into the light. It's a little choppy. Is it very choppy, or just a tiny bit? To me it looks like it's super chop. But yeah, here's the Bravil guard armor. I think this cell is going pretty good. It is a little bit dark, so maybe I'll have to do some lighting on everything. But this is the guards barracks. So once we add in people, there's going to be a whole bunch of guards hanging out here, sitting in these chairs. There's a little bit of funny stuff that goes on, but anyways, I don't want to critique it too much. This is all of your first view into Bravil Castle. So here's the barracks. In Oblivion, every castle had its own barracks and its own battle mage. It actually had its own mage who you could learn magic from. So that's something that we're trying to recreate for Beyond Skyrim. There's some stuff here. It's a nice little area, lots of room. And then we're gonna head on. We're gonna go to the private quarters. So the private quarters is going to be where the nobles live. This is where they'll sleep. They'll spend some time here. Maybe we'll come here a little bit later on in the stream and we can add some more clutter. Books and cups and things around. Different things the nobles might have. Over here, this is a noble bedroom. And here's another one. Depending on how many nobles we have, I'll extend this place if we need to. And we're gonna go up. So now we're gonna get to see the throne room. This is gonna be from above though. So that's the throne, that's where the Count of Bravil is gonna sit. Oh, and I have some lighting I'll need to fix here. Here's a little shrine to Akataj. The Count of Bravil is very stern of a character. So this is a locked door. I'm gonna unlock this. Oh, I unlocked myself. One second. Unlock. There we go. The doors are temporary. They kind of clip a little bit, but we'll be creating correct size ones for this castle kit. Over here, this is there's actually a kind of a detective character in Bravil. The story of Bravil is very much about crime, kind of law and order kind of thing. This is where a detective is going to live. He sort of has this special place in the castle. So we're gonna pass through the throne room here. And go through this way. We're gonna go up a little bit more. This is gonna take us to the Count's quarters. So Skyrim had Jarls, and every Jarl had their own region. In Oblivion, it's kind of a count system. There's counties, counts that rule the counties. And so for each castle actually has a count. So this is their kind of their private chambers. They have a little bit more wealth here. So if you're a thief type playing in Bravil, you could maybe sneak into the Count's private chambers and steal some expensive items. And then this is the bedchambers. It's quite large and expansive, but it's also quite sparse. The writing team for Beyond Skyrim, Cyrodiil, has written an interesting history for Bravil. It's kind of an impoverished castle. It's richer than the rest of Bravil, but quite impoverished compared to the other holds. This is a room that might have the battle mage of Bravil, so there might be somebody you can learn magic from within this room. And I'm really stoked about the lighting. I spend a lot of time trying to set up really nice lighting. I have a few things going on here. We have some of these shadow lights, and then we also have some non-shadow casting light, this green over here, coming in from the windows. It's quite an interesting place. It's very somber, partly because we haven't added the NPCs in, but it also feels kind of cold and quiet up in the Count's chambers. So next I'm gonna go down. Just gonna hop down here. So this is where the Count is gonna sit. Nice throne for the Count of Bravil. You could imagine maybe some nobles milling around. And next we're gonna go through the dining hall here. There's the servants' quarters we'll go to next. But this is the dining hall. So at certain times of the day, the people who live in Bravil Castle are going to come here and they're going to eat. The plates and stuff are a little bit cheaper than something you might see in a wealthy castle. So maybe in Shadenhall or Coral, they would have maybe silver plates, but here in Bravil, even the Count eats off of a metal plate and drinks from a metal cup. Alright, and then over here, we have the kitchen. I was working on this place last. So we have some of the, the nice food from Hearthfire. I just want to move this bowl. I love spilling bowls. Yes, there we go. I love physics. One of the things that I did in Oblivion when I was first enjoying it for the first time was I went around Bravil. Actually, this is a really nice and relevant story. I went all around Bravil and I collected like every single vegetable I could find because they were really cheap and they were physics items. And then I stored them in a room in my house in Bravil. and I had like this pool of physics items. Like there were so many. They were just stacked. It was like melons and pumpkins and stuff. But there's all kinds of really interesting things that people find fun about these games. And a lot of what we do when we're creating an environment like this is we enable it for sandbox play. So we allow there to be quest givers, we allow there to be just random NPCs doing random things, so that the player can really get to choose what they want to do. As a level designer, I'm not necessarily creating an experience, but I'm creating a platform for experiences. So I think I'm walking into, yeah, this is the servants' quarters. So this is essentially the equivalent of the nobles' quarters that I showed before. But this is kind of where the people like the cooks in the kitchen, or different kind of porters, like people who maybe move things from one place to another, this is where they will sleep. And so it definitely has a different character to it in a way. Oh, this is cool, I like this one. So this is a maybe the nobles relax in the noble quarters and they sit around a table. Meanwhile, the servants also sit around their own table and play dice games. And I kind of made it like a warehouse / bedroom. So we have beds right beside, sacks of rice or something. I'll be adding some more clutter here. We're gonna have a lot of stuff to do today. Lots of clutter. So this is the servants' quarters here. And then next, we're gonna go down to the dungeon. It's pretty dark down here, but I think that gives a good effect. This is where the guard captain is probably going to spend most of his time. Is right in here. This is kind of almost like the prison master's room. This is where your evidence chest is going to go. So if you're taken prisoner, this is where your gear is all going to go. There's going to be some stuff there. It's going to be writing, probably. Then down here are the prison cells themselves. So if you're a thief in Bravil, you're going to spend a lot of time like this. Just waiting for the guards to come by. There's also going to be a few NPCs that are down here. I was telling you before about how Bravil Castle kind of has almost like a crime and punishment feeling to it. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. So there's going to be some NPCs who you may actually need to come down into the dungeon to just speak to. They may be prisoners who you're not necessarily going to free, but you do need to get some information from them. This is the torture room. All good castles have a torture room. And Bravil Castle is a pretty terrible place to be a prisoner. I'm going to be expanding this. I find it's a little bit too close to the rest of the prison cells. I feel like it should maybe be down below a little bit further. So I do want to kind of re-lay out this, but I think the room itself looks quite good, so I'll be leaving that. All right, and then the dungeon's interesting. I'm going to open up my map because that'll let you see what I mean here. So here's the dungeon itself. This is, we can see that little table. That's kind of where the torture room is. The cells are kind of around the middle here. But we actually have two exits. We have one exit to Bravil Castle Dining Hall. We have another exit to the barracks. So the dungeon's kind of interesting because it has 2 exits. You don't actually have to go out one singular way, which I think will be pretty fun for players who are escaping. You don't necessarily need to go by guards who are patrolling. You can actually kind of sneak away and sneak out, and then go up to the barracks. You might run into trouble once you go into the barracks, though, because there may be NPCs around here. I mean, here's all the guards, so if you try to escape from jail, probably don't want to go through the barracks. But it is another way to get around. So you guys probably, I'm sure you haven't seen this yet, but this is the shield. The shield is absolutely beautiful. It's the Bravil shield. And right below it, we also have these ancient Imperial swords. These are some of my favorite weapons that we have right now. I imagine they are kind of from an era in the past. Let's pull out that shield too. Rebel Guard shield, there we go. But yeah, they're absolutely awesome. Amazing asset. Amazing 3D modelers. Alright. So we're nearing the end of the initial tour, then we're going to hop into the creation kit and keep on working on Bravil Castle. And I'll be streaming that for about an hour and 40 minutes if you feel like joining. Feel free to ask any questions or anything. Hop over to the Twitch chat and just post there, because I'm definitely reading through that. If anybody has any questions or any even interesting things, you know, don't hesitate to post them. For the longest time, I was kind of modding by myself, which is a fairly solitary thing to do. So what I've been trying to do lately is bring it a little bit more public, make it something, because modding and creating mods and downloading them, I feel, is an inherently social activity. Like, it's something you do with other people. You know, you may not be talking to somebody else with it, but you are interacting with things other people created. But anyways, I am trying to make it a little bit more social. But yeah, this has been... I just love this. I love the way the lighting system works in Skyrim, where it's kind of dark, and then like you move forward and it actually just lights up. I think that's awesome. Pizza delivery man, very excited for this dude. Also, your voice is sexy. Well, thank you. I've been told I have a good voice before. A lot of times. It's surprising how many people will say that. But yeah, that's what we have so far. This is everything I've set up based on the 3D models that have been provided, and keeping a few things in mind. So I have a few things I want to do. One of the things is making it brighter, and then we're also going to add clutter. We're going to keep that in mind, and we're going to hop over to the creation kit now. Alright, so here we are. I'm just showing you guys the render view, but if I showed you the whole creation kit, it would look like this. So usually, just because I find it looks a little bit nicer, I usually just show you guys the render window. But if you guys ever need me to show you exactly how something's done, just ask me, because I literally have thousands of hours of experience for the creation kit. So like, if you guys want to know anything about the creation kit, do not hesitate to ask, because I can't promise I'll be able to teach you it, but I will give it a shot, especially if it's something I know. So yeah, anyways, this is Bravil Castle in the creation kit right now. And we can see a bunch of things. So I'm going to turn the fog off. There's that entry room again. So I had an issue with a light. There's a light over here that was causing some problems. And I think it's because sometimes the lights, they have a value of lighting, and I think this light actually got a negative value, because I can see it's not showing any light. If I turn it off, turn it on, there's no difference. Swartzerburgo, hey man. Oh hey, I remember you. Do you know if there's a way to hide whole cells in the creation kit? Hiding them? Depends on what you mean by hiding. Sometimes there's so many things on screen it's impossible to work. Yeah, I have a setup. I'll show you. So for in the creation kit, this is my main monitor. I have other screens, so I'm gonna move some of the other screens here. So if I only used one monitor, my screen would look like this, and it'd be kind of hard to, it'd be hard to work with. So I use multiple monitors, and I throw all of these other really chunky windows, I throw them onto my second monitor. And that makes it a lot easier to work the creation kit. Because yeah, I totally agree. There's so much stuff, so many windows in this program. Okay. So, I need to put a light there. I think we're going to use this orange light. There we go, that's looking better. Just going to modify it. Turn it down a bit, make it a little smaller. There we go, that's cool. Solid Squids, how much experience with the creation kit do you have to join the Beyond Skyrim team? You don't actually. There's tons of different things that we are trying to get people to apply for. Not all of it is even stuff within the creation kit. Like we have, we're trying to get people for voice acting. We're trying to get people for writing. We have a lot of people in the team already because the project has been going on for like 5 years or something. But it's usually good to, if you want to specifically get in with Beyond Skyrim, I would recommend kind of practicing with releasing your own mods first, especially if you want to do level design. For the Beyond Skyrim team, when I applied, I did it after Bethesda actually spotlighted one of my Ruins mod, and then I was like, hey, like Bethesda spotlighted one of my mods, can I get it in? And they were like, yeah, of course. But there's a lot of other level designers who they don't necessarily have as much experience as I do. We have tons of different things for people to do. But yeah, like the best way, if you want to get in for level design, publish a level design mod, go through the whole process, because then you will learn exactly what it takes to publish it and make sure it's good quality and everything. Swartzer, by too many things I mean it lags. I need to find a way to hide cells to reduce the stress of my computer. Oh, yeah. So you're talking like when you load up the creation kit, it takes a whole long time, and then like the memory lags. Yeah, I'm looking at my performance right now, and memory use, I'm using 7.4 gigabytes, so it is like pretty heavy, like pretty memory intensive. When I try to turn the camera or move, there's like a stutter or delay. Oh, interesting. So it's the render window is kind of having issues. Yeah, I think that might be a graphics issue. It might be to do with your graphics card. Alright, so I fixed that light. I think I'm gonna go over to the noble quarters. Oh, that's the barracks. Alright, noble quarters. I'm kind of tempted to just make this place bigger already, because I feel like there will be a need for more than 2 noble quarters. But I don't want to get too presumptuous. I don't want to have like this really gigantic noble quarters, which is kind of empty. I might add 1 more room. I'm going to duplicate this room. Whoa. Okay. Swartzer, yeah, my GPU is getting old, thanks for advice. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Everything hardware is like an inherently depreciating thing. It always kind of degrades rather than getting better. It doesn't matter if it's a car or a computer. It's always gonna eventually need to be replaced. Okay, something is not lining up here. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy. I think I got my last GPU maybe probably 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years. And like, it's not a good GPU by any means. Like, it's not like an awesome one, but I knew that I was gonna be doing a lot of Skyrim modding on it, so I built it specifically for Skyrim modding. There we go. Boom, he's used that. Another room. Just gonna leave it as a duplicate for now, I think. Actually, I'm gonna move a few things. I've been trying to work out more lately. I don't have a great... I'm not super fit right now, but I'm trying to get back there, because there was once a time when I was taking a lot of care for my health, my fitness, and I spent maybe a couple years not really, well, maybe 1 year not really looking at it for a while. So I've been kicking my ass. I just went for a run a few days ago, and I hadn't run for like a long time, but it just wrecked my muscles, but in a good way, because now they're feeling better again, but they were sore for a few days. There we go, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna move this light just a little bit. I'm trying to make it not go through the walls so much. Swartzer, how do you line up the tiles so easily? It's always a nightmare when working on interior cells. Yeah, dude, it's difficult. There's a few things I do. I'll show you guys. So the first thing is there's this grid up here. When you turn it on, it moves things on a grid. Right now my grid, if I go to movement tab of preferences, I have an 8-point grid, which is really tiny. Usually, I think by default it's like 16 or 32 or something, but I've turned mine way down. And then a few things you can do with that are, there's a couple hotkeys. So one of them is Control Q, or no, Shift Q, and then you see how my mouse looks like it's kind of like a reticle now. That's because it wants me to click something, and the thing that I click is going to be the snap to. So imagine I have a grid right now. If I shift Q, I click on this, my grid is going to be these things here. So this thing's on my grid. So I'm just going to turn my lighting off for a bit. So if I move it this way, it's going to go 8, 8, 8. Every time it clicks, it's going to be an 8. Now, let's move this dresser here. So right now, it's on my 8-degree grid. If I go Shift Q and I click something that's not on the grid, so like this shirt here, now it's going to change so it's on that grid now. So if I snap to angles, it's actually going to snap to whatever this shirt is here. So like if I move this over here, you can see that these two things, they line up, right? Like that thing, they're actually on the same grid. And then if I turn it, like it's not gridded to this block. If I click Shift Q, I click on this, now it's gonna set the grid to be on that, on the block there. But I don't know. I hope that makes some sense to you. That's one thing you can do, is making sure you go Shift Q and then click on the thing you want the grid to be on. But yeah, it's a little difficult. Yeah, dude, Shift Q. Use it, click on what you want it to snap to, and it's awesome. One thing you can do that's really cool, I'm gonna go, here's a next level thing if you're ready for it. Okay, imagine this is a sunken castle. It is sunken, it's sinking into the ground. You know, this is a weird grid, right? That'd be freaking impossible to work on. Okay, so, you know, if I try and grid it, like, oh, it's not gonna work. It's really hard to get it on the right thing, I think. So what I do is I Shift Q, click on it, and now it's actually going to be on this weird tilted grid. So now, look at that. The dresser is perfectly level with this crazy unlevel castle. So like Shift Q, you can do whatever whatever kind of grid you want. The grid is yours. Solid Squiz, are you going to be nav meshing on stream? I need to learn more and want to watch it. Cool. I might. I don't know. Let me just check my nav mesh. I don't know if I've done nav meshes for this one. I have not. There's no nav mesh in here at all. There's not a single nav mesh. But if we want to add one, we can add some nav mesh. I don't know if I'll be doing a lot of nav meshing, because I want to make sure that the stream is interesting to watch. Like if somebody is specifically just looking at the stream, I want to make sure there's good content for them that will kind of engage them and everything. Nav meshing can be kind of, it takes a little while to do. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of nav meshing on stream today. I think I'll probably be doing mostly clutter, as well as lighting today. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Okay, I have to think of something different to do with these rooms because my lighting is getting very complex. I have too many lights going on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 regular lights. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 shadow lights within a very small area. So that means that I have to make some choices about lighting quality, because I could keep the room small and have a lot of focus, but at the same time I think it might be better if I kind of cheapen the lighting a little bit so that it all works together. So what I'm going to do for that is, instead of, if we look at the comparison here, we have, you know, one lighting here, one lighting there, but most of the room is kind of dark, and I think that I hadn't set that up right. Over here we have something different going on, where I just have one big light going on in the room, and it kind of lights everything up, but it doesn't have as much definition. But that's kind of just one of those compromises you have to make sometimes. because if you're going bigger scale, always have to go a little bit cheaper. So then for lighting, I have 2 lights that I can choose from. Swartzer, how do you toggle the rotation lines around the lights? Is that in the hide view window? Let's see, I think you're talking about like these little round things, right? How do I get rid of those? I don't know. This one, I think L. So you tap L, and that shows or hides them. I like to have them on. It helps me, especially when I'm working on lighting right now. So it's good to have those on. I'm going to be simplifying my lighting, so I'm taking some of the lights and just deciding that they are not worth it. Other lights that I think are really cool, I'm going to stick around. This one is too small, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fake it a little bit. So what I mean by faking it is like, it's like, you know, a light would normally kind of project from the center of the light source, but if I'm going to kind of fake it, I'm going to shift it a bit so it's actually away from the light source, and then like that. So like, it doesn't look too bad, but it is a little shifted. I might move it back a bit, just like that, right there. So that we keep the quality there. Yeah, that's good. Also gonna add a glow to this lighting. So if you're ever doing something with lighting, there were these really cool special effects that they used a lot in the vanilla Skyrim. They're called these things called FX Glow Fill Round. And these things are really cool. I'm going to drag one on here, and you can kind of see there's a little bit of difference. So if I disable it, it's a little bit darker. If I enable it, it's a little bit brighter. There's different versions of these, so I'm going to put the extra bright one just so you can see what that looks like. So it kind of looks like it's substantially brighter, even though we're not actually changing the light properties. What we are adding is this kind of like a glow object, which is pretty cool. It also affects player torches and stuff. So like if you're walking around with a torch, it'll kind of cause the glow to be shifted a bit. But it's something I like to do to add a little bit more focus to a light. I don't know if that has much of an effect at all. It's subtle. Alright. Cool. So the next thing I want to do is take a look at these shelves, because there's not a lot on them. Especially over here. We have this little writing desk, but we don't have anything on there. Okay. I have to play find the window. I don't know where my one of my windows went. Object window. Where are you? Ah, there it is. Okay. I just have to drag my render window, which tends to be pretty laggy. There we go. Move it right there. Alright. Start adding some clutter items. Oh, it's kind of dark over there. Copy that. One of the best things you can do in level design for Skyrim is definitely copy and paste. That's one of the best things. If you can create prefabricated items and then just copy and paste them, use them throughout, is a really good way to make sure everything's standardized and also speed up development. Let's make that not too bright. Oof, that's too bright. Yeah, there we go. There was somebody who was asking about nav meshing earlier. I have a highlight for nav meshing. I think I explain some stuff there. If there's anything specific that you're kind of wondering about for nav meshing, let me know. Otherwise, the creation kit wiki that Bethesda created is a really awesome source because it has a lot of it's the best thing you can do to learn a lot of these systems is reading that wiki. That wiki is it's what I was raised on, and I think what pretty much every other modder who takes on Beyond Skyrim and similar projects. It's really essential. And there's no way around the tutorials. You have to sink some time into that. Put some crumpled paper here too. Actually, not on the noble table. Noble tables never have crumpled paper. Instead, they're going to have a basket, and that basket's going to have some crumpled paper in it. Oh, that's right. I need to actually add a bunch more baskets. This is Bravil. Ooh, I'm sorry about that. I forgot that it does that. When I have the preview window open, my streaming has a very bad time. It doesn't know which window to look at, so it tries to look at both of them. These are a little too big. All these baskets are very large. I think what I'm going to try and do is I have this basket, I'm just going to shrink it. Not a lot, at least a little bit. We'll see what happens with that. Seems okay. Alright. Cool. So now we have a basket with a bunch of crumpled paper. So we're getting there. We're adding a little bit more. I just have to think of things that the nobles would have in their quarters. What kind of things do rich people have in their house? I guess we really have to think of who the nobles of Bravil would be. Because they're affluent. The nobles in Bravil are definitely affluent. Here's an hourglass, that's a cool item. Something that's not necessarily expensive, but still has that poshness about it. Put it right up there. Huh, there's some interesting items here. It's a microscope. I don't think I'll put this one anywhere, but that is interesting. It's a miscellaneous item, so the player could actually pick this thing up. I'm just looking through right now. We have some blankets. These are interesting. What else do we have? Lots of paper. Alembic. That's interesting. Maybe not for the noble quarters, though. Ah, I think I know. It's interesting. The people in Bravil Castle. Cactus Bob is saying small coin purses, low grade potions, cheap jewelry. I think that's the issue. I'm looking through the miscellaneous items, and there's not a lot of like miscellaneous items that they would necessarily leave lying around. I like the idea of potions. I'm gonna look up those. Thank you. Ah, we have some cheap drinks too. Cheap but exotic. So here's Flynn. Definitely gonna put some Flynn here. Oh, you know what? This is gonna be an actual liquor cabinet. That's what this is gonna be right here. It's gonna be a noble liquor cabinet. Flynn. What else do we have? Brandy. Oh, there we go. Look at that brandy. Clovian brandy. We're gonna place this for sure. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. Okay, I'm really curious about this one. This one is called CYR Food Candy Bunnies. I don't know if I'll place these, but what the heck? Wow. There's some treasures in Beyond Skyrim. Something called the Clovian Battle Cry. Looks like a drink. don't know if I'm gonna put every kind of alcohol here. Kind of want to stick to certain ones. I'm gonna look for some Skyrim drinks too. Oh, we have Beyond Skyrim. Here, you know what? If you guys can see this, you can look with me, so I'm not just looking in private. But this is, you see all these things? All these ones that start with BSK? That's the Beyond Skyrim stuff. The CYR, that's the Cyrodiil stuff. Okay, I'm just looking for wines. We'll put some Alto wine. Everybody knows Alto wine is good. I'm gonna move this thing. Nibney's pot. Just throw that over there for now. It's kind of a cheap pot. I don't know if they would keep it here. Okay. Got Alto wine. Let's put a couple of those up there. What were the other alcohols from Oblivion? It's definitely Flynn, Brandy. What are the Clovian? What are the Cyrodiilic alcohols? There's lollipops. I don't know if we have any kids in the castle. I'm sure there should be some kids in the castle. I got some wine bottles from... Oh, those are nice looking wine bottles. That's from the Hearthfire DLC. A jug of cream. They could have like just milk. Might have to just duplicate some of these things. I like those brandy bottles a lot. We have some cheap wine. I'm sure they would have some cheap wine. Oh, there we go. I love these bottles. I love those. Not these big fat bottles. I feel like those ones are a little bit too Nordic, so I'm gonna get rid of those. Sorcerer, I realized the order that there were no children and no beards and mustaches in Oblivion. It troubled me more than it should have. Yeah, that is troubling. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. I think the beautiful thing about this, I think it's really interesting. I know there's this one guy. It was like a friend of my girlfriend's dad, and this guy had like a crazy liquor cabinet. Like he's what I would consider him rich. Like I live in a small apartment, but this dude, like, he had a fully stocked liquor cabinet, and to me, like, it's ridiculous the extensive, I guess, aesthetics that some people go to kind of display their wealth. And I think that's kind of what I'm trying to create with this little thing here. Imagine you're this poor beggar on the streets of Bravil, and you sneak into the castle and you see this fully stocked liquor cabinet. Alright, I'm gonna put some more of these wines. Another one over there. One there. Okay. Solitude spiced wine. Do I want to put one of those here? I kind of do. I think it'd be interesting if they were like, oh, we have this fantastic travel selection brought from even the frontier of the Empire, Solitude. Shadow Banish wine. Just want to check the use info of this and see where else it's used. Okay, so it's used in the common wine list. That means I can use it. It's kind of this fat wine though. It uses those Skyrim models. I might display these wines differently later on, but for now, this is sort of the first pass for clutter. So what this means a lot of is me just going through the lists and picking a bunch of things. Grapes. That sounds fun. Let's put some grapes here. I'm not entirely sure the direction we're going with these NPCs, but I feel like the nobles would be maybe a little bit despicable. Let's give them a silver plate. Cactus bulb. Flowers in a vase, perhaps? Oh, yeah, totally. I like that. I'm going to set that out next. Alright. Nibony silver. There we go. Nibony silver plate. Some grapes on it. Awesome. Put it right to the side there. Cool. Flowers in a vase. Alright. Let's set that up. Let's go get a vase. It's gonna be a static. We have vases and we have planters. I think it'll be a planter. I think I have a couple planters I'm using somewhere. So I wonder if they would use this one. It's called a lower planter, but I wonder if that's what they would actually use in Bravil, or if they would still have these kind of fancy planters. Yeah, I think they would have this kind. So in the lore of Bravil, over the last, I think, 100 years or so, the castle actually had to sell a lot of its most valuable things. So the castle was so impoverished, and it was also extremely decadent. They were wasting all their money, and in Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil, Bravil itself is kind of impoverished. And Count Terentius, the current count, is kind of this like stern count. I wouldn't say they're necessarily like a protagonist who is like they've realized the errors of their family's ways or anything, but Count Terentius is kind of angry, to say the least, at where their family has led them. Okay. I gotta pick a flower now. So I think these are mostly mushrooms. I could use either a flora or a tree, because if we use a tree, might have to go BSK. I'm seeing a lot of different mushrooms, but not quite flowers. Let's take a look at BSK trees. Ah, there we go. Tree, flora, we have nightshade, we have poppy. Here, let's bring these over. Let's take a look. Okay. Could have poppies. Some nightshade. A mandrake. Motherwort. This is an interesting one. I feel like it's quite natural though. Foxglove. That's cool. Maybe they would have foxglove. I just have to check. Just gonna check on UESP. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So I'm just checking on the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages. That's uesp.net. And it says that foxglove comes from the Nibene area. So that means that these would be actually local flowers. It's foxglove. Oh, I like the size of them too. That makes a good shape. I don't think they would live very long being in here. There's not a lot of light, unfortunately, in this area. I guess maybe by vase. I have a planter here. That's not quite a vase. Maybe I'll see if I can find a vase I could use. It needs to be static. Let's look up the other planters. I really like the way these Kvatch planters look. And we have these generic planters. We have this thing, which is just kind of a lower planter. This one might actually fit. Looks like one that they would actually move around. But we are kind of looking for vase. We have these vases. So these Nibonese clay vase and silver vase. But unfortunately these ones are physics items. So I can't really use them for putting a plant in. Unless I branched them and I created my own object. I'd rather not go to that much trouble. Oops. Okay, I think I'm going to use that lower planter. This one here. Replace it just like that. I like that. That kind of makes sense. I could imagine maybe a servant actually goes around and moves this planter. When it starts to die, they bring it out. I like that. I think it's nice, and it feels like a remnant of Bravil's kind of decadent history. That's the idea with these nobles, to show a little bit of decadence. Alright. Small coin purses. Let's put those ones in. Place these in the individual rooms. I like that idea. I like that they're kind of just small. Like, it's not even that these guys have a lot of money. In Bravil, I don't expect a noble would be necessarily as powerful as a noble in any other county. But in Bravil, they are considered nobles. Put a few of them around. Let's kind of hide this one. Make it a little bit secret. That's cool. I have a little bit of jewelry going on over here. This is a wooden comb. This is a amulet of Mara. Okay. So we have that big liquor cabinet. We have this desk that's starting up. And then we also have this one back here, which looks like it is looking for some books. So I'm gonna search up my books here. Let's go to items, book. So now we have our Cyrodiil books. Cyrodiil book, common tattoo. What are these? Let's open these up. Tattoo. Oh, I like this one. It's about a beggar. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Yeah, this one is very appropriate. I'm gonna have to keep this one in mind. Tattoo. It's gonna be quite relevant. But unfortunately it's a little big. I don't know if this is the right bookshelf for some books, because they don't really sit up on it right. Maybe I'll have to put the books over here, because there's a lot more room. Yeah, there we go. That's plenty of room. So for books, what I usually do is I click on this thing, don't havoc settle, and that's going to prevent that item from falling when the player loads in. I'm gonna put it up here. Put it right there for now. I want this to be kind of in the player's face. I think it's a cool book and I hope they find it. Alright. Saints the Ruby Navy. It's a valuable book. I'm sure they would have valuable books. In defense of the Ruby Navy. Ah, this is interesting. So there's two of these books. One of them is called Introduction, one of them is called Defense of the Ruby Navy. This is interesting. It's kind of like it's a political book. Just gonna drop them all over here. Man bulls of Cyrodiil. The Minotaurs. Have you guys seen the Minotaurs for Cyrodiil yet? Because they are amazing. They look so cool. I think I might just place one so you guys can see what it looks like. I like this. We're gonna put a book called The Man Bulls of Cyrodiil. Okay, I just want to show you guys a Minotaur. They're awesome. Gonna drop a Minotaur right in here. Boom. Here he is. Here's the Minotaur. They are absolutely awesome. Let's see, let's get you guys right in there. Check this guy out. Look at how good quality these Minotaurs are. Like, that is such a cool asset. That's so cool. Alright, I'm just gonna leave him in there. He'll just be right over there. And we won't speak of him. Schwarzer, you should give him clothes and just let him be there, yeah. Just to make it fun for myself, I'm just gonna hide him. He's gonna be in that room. And then he's gonna remind me that I have to do nav meshing for this room. I wonder if he can fit through these doors. I doubt he can. He's probably too big. He'll probably get stuck. Yeah, he can't go through these doors. Okay, I'll put him right here. That way he can move around. Alright. Let's see, what was I doing? Books. I was looking through books. I just want to get a couple more books. Cheap parlor tricks. I don't know if they would have that. I don't think they would have any book called Cheap. Spell tome? Nah. Lots of dungeon notes down there. I think that's good for now. I don't want to have too many books. I like to give them just enough so that the player would have a few options, but not too many. I think I'm going to drop a common soul gem. Not sure about this. I think I might not. I actually really like the idea of keeping a lot of the castle low fantasy. I say as I try and look away from the Minotaur that I've placed. I like keeping it kind of low fantasy. Because it adds to this kind of gritty muddiness of Bravil. Okay. So potions. Cure disease. Yes. Let's see if I can fit those potions back here. Do they fit? Oh, they do fit. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. So they have a few interesting potions. I'll just put one cure disease potion there. Some poisons. Restore health. So tier 3 restore health. Might put that one over. Maybe here. Maybe not there. Maybe I'll put a restore magicka or stamina. Let's do that. Let's put a little restore stamina. Let's make it a level 3. Yeah, there we go.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
I wonder if I can fit one of these over here. I'm gonna try and turn it sideways. Oof, that doesn't look good. Okay, we're gonna skip that one. A skooma? Oh man, should I put a skooma bottle somewhere? No, I'm not. Not here. Maybe in the servants' quarters. Weakness, a weakness potion. Okay, I'm gonna put that stamina potion in somebody's room. It's gonna go in this person's room. So all the items in here are going to belong to people. So if the player tries to take anything, they are going to be stealing. Okay, I think that's good for potions. We have a few potions in there. What else do I want to put? We have ingredients. Ingredients are kind of fun. I like putting ingredients on shelves. It brings me back to Morrowind. Let's see, I'll bring this back so you guys can see the menus again. Alright, so we have all these BSK. Those are all the things from across Tamriel. So they're not necessarily things that they would be able to find near Bravil. So we have to kind of look through them and choose. Here's the Cyrodiil things. It's nice making here, I'm gonna move this away a bit. It's nice making a castle because I can just place pretty much anything. You can imagine a castle might be able to get access to something. Let's see here, I'm gonna drop. Let's see what Magus Mint looks like. That's kind of cool. A mint leaf. I'm gonna place this mint leaf over here. I imagine this is gonna be a female noble. They'll have a mint leaf there. Need to make it a little brighter in that corner. Cactus, a minotaur horn to go with the book. Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. Okay. Where did I put my object now? Oh, there it is. I moved it onto my other screen. Minotaur horn. Perfect. Maybe it'll help as like a little, as a bookend. Oof, never mind. Okay. Let's bring that back. Oh, crap. I'm gonna move that back up there. There we go. That works. It's so hard to get books to stay still. I have to put the do not havoc settle on every single one of them. Okay. Thank you guys for the suggestions, by the way. That it's really nice. It's I feel like a lot of times I actually kind of get a little bit brain dead, where I'm just like, I'm so used to the way I habitually do things, and so like it's really cool. I hope that you guys continue to give really awesome input. Okay, I gotta fix this book now. That's pretty good. They kind of look like they're leaning together. A little bit. Okay. We have stuff. BSK Wolfsbane. I really like the idea of including some of these things. This is a really beautiful flower. Wolfsbane. We have a lot of things that I could add, but not everything will make sense. Let's see, red poppies. I'm sure poppies show up everywhere. Oof, they don't really... Ooh, that didn't work. Okay. Not gonna place a poppy. Flax. Flax is more of a Colovian thing, I think. Salts, there we go. Sorry, I have this window over here. Alright, fire salts, frost salts, void salts. Fire salts. We also have some dragonflies. Mountain lion teeth. I feel like they would have to be trophies. Oh, you know what? I should add some pelts. See, we have deer pelts. Yeah, okay, let's add some pelts. Nobles love hunting. Bear, brown bear pelt. Oh, that one's kind of... I might put that actually... Let's see here. I'm gonna take that brown bear pelt. I think I have these things. So this is a cool thing here, this chest. I like these chests because they're kind of opportunities to, like, you can put things in them. And it's not like a chest that you interact with, it's a chest you actually have to look inside. And then foxes. Let's put some fox pelts. Fox pelts are nice and small, I think. Let's do a gray fox pelt. Ooh. Gray fox. Gray fox pelt. There we go. That's a message right there. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Gray fox pelt. And I would love to put a little coin purse there too. Just to draw a little more attention. Solid Squids, how did you automatically level items at the table? Yeah, so that's a hotkey. So I can drag it anywhere. If I press F, it will floor it, or it will find the ground. So you press F to floor it. So F was going to bring it to the floor, bring it up. F, it's going to find wherever it can land. So like on top of the candles, on top of the plate, and then here on top of the table. You just press F. Yeah, totally. Hey man, like I've been telling you, I have thousands of hours of experience, and a lot of it is used in creating mods. But if I can teach people, and then they can go on to create mods, that is really cool too. But yeah, like there's tons of stuff like, yeah, it's hard to tell what you need sometimes. Like what is that thing that you're missing, because you don't really know what it is until you find it. But there's definitely a lot of different like tips and tricks that come about from many hours. Okay, I want to add a rug in here. I don't have a rug. Okay, so we have lower rugs and we have upper rugs. I think I am going to use an upper rug here. Let's take a look. I'd love to use like a red rug. This one, I'll put that one down for now. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Something like that over there. And then, yeah, there's a lot of really good resources that you can go to. I'm going to keep hammering home the Creation Kit wiki, because that is the absolute best place to learn stuff. Like going through those articles and skimming, or you know, fully going through those tutorials and learning everything you can from them is without a doubt the best way to learn a lot of these more like these things that really make you into a modder. Because like, yeah, there's a page on the Creation Kit wiki specifically for hotkeys, and that one is definitely worth having open as a reference when you're using the Creation Kit, because there's so many hotkeys that they're not necessarily intuitive. Like you're not gonna know about them when you first start, but after you've been going for a while, it's like these things become just part of your process. Like I always use that flooring thing. It happens all the time. It's just such a inherent part of how I work. There we go. That's cool. Yeah, this is starting to look like a home now. It's rugs, planter. I'm gonna copy that planter. I really like this planter. I gotta move this a bit. I don't know if the lighting works anymore. I think I'm gonna have to do the same thing I did over here. So I'm gonna get rid of that, and I'm gonna copy this. We're gonna put a lantern over here. Oh, there's something funky going on with this right here. Okay. There's going to be a very specific piece I can use here. Oh yeah, that's going to be difficult to find one. I might actually have to change this around a bit. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to delete this. And then I'm going to copy one of these. Oh wait, I want to copy this one, I think. Yeah, there we go. It's a puzzle. Is that it? I don't know if that's it. I have to find a very specific piece because the ceiling and the walls are both kind of tricky to line up properly. I think this will help though. Cool. And then the door, I'm actually going to move the dresser over here, and the door is going to come over here. Then we're going to have to change this one out. You got to change everything. This one goes over there. That's one thing with these level designs. You can't be afraid to change almost everything up, because sometimes it is totally necessary. Even if it's going to be a bit of a mess for a little bit. There we go. So the roof looks good. Over here I need to give this a roof. Hopefully I can just copy this piece. Place it right there. Almost. It's so close. It's just a little bit more. Whoa. Is that it? Yes! There we go. The roof is back together. And we've moved this door. We've moved it over there. Oof, it's not entirely lined up though. Move it one there. That there. That's good enough for now. That's not too bad. I'm gonna move it. There we go. Gaps in the roof are closed up. Move that one a bit. Ooh. Ceilings are a tricky business sometimes. Yeah, I'll have to fix those later on. There's some gaps in the ceiling. But it's good enough for now. Cool. Alright. Oh, I like this. So there's kind of enough room for players to kind of walk into this room here. Cactus Bob. A bit of wall decor too. Animal heads and a banner. Oh, dude. Yes. Alright. I am gonna go grab a bit of wall decor. There's a piece that you remind me of right over here. But we should also grab a banner. So we're gonna grab the one with the sigil on it too. Not that one. That one. Nope, not that one. That one. No. Okay, I have to do this the other way. Hide that one. Okay, now we've got that one, that one. Cool. Alright. And we head back. I've copied them to my clipboard. And then we're just going to place them here for now. Where is the banner? There we go. Cool. Okay, I've got to figure out what to do with this one because I think the only... Let's see if I can find another one that is not moving with the wind, because this one is. We only have movable ones right now. So I'll just have to deal with it for now. Let's make it nice and big. There we go, perfect. Now this looks like a proper noble quarters now. Can definitely imagine. I'm gonna shrink that down a bit. It's not gonna be a gigantic buck, but a pretty big one. Yeah, this is cool. And then I'm gonna copy this one out. Yeah. Switzer, you gotta love the hitboxes. Yeah, I know, right? Like, why does the... Oh, sorry, we got an ad. I'll mute it. There we go. Yeah, it's crazy just how big, because like this box is like way bigger than the flag is. Okay, so that's what that one looks like. I might have to add a window or two. Oh, this one's cool. It has like a little sigil on it. Maybe we'll place that one there. But they definitely move. Oh man, this looks cool. It looks really cramped, which is one thing I love about the Bravil castle, is that it's not a grandiose castle by any means. It's kind of this squalid little hut almost. But yeah, I think it's beautiful. Put window near the flowers. Yeah, I have to think of... I think if I'm going to put a window anywhere, I'm just going to move this guy here. I'll probably put window over there, like behind here. Let's see if I can find a window. I wonder if there's a window I can just tack onto onto the wall. Let's see. Here's a Bravil window. Oh, this one might work. This one's meant to be used with a different kit, but if it works here, it works. If it works, it works. Well, that ain't bad. I wish I had like an open window I could place. Where's my preview screen? There it is. Let's see what we can do with this one first. I think even a window being there, even if the window is closed, I think it does help. I'm going to change this one because it's very big right now. I'm going to delete it for now. See what we can do. Because if we placed, let's say, a window here, window here. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Okay. And something like that. Yeah, that's cool. We just gotta move these. I think this is good. I kind of had too many shelves in here. Switzer, what about using a loading screen animal creature as a stuffed one? Oh, that's interesting. Let's see if there's any... I'd like to try that out. I could, you know, maybe they might do that. Let's see. What's the name of them? Are they called loading screen? Yeah, load screen alien. Okay, let's take a look at some of these. There's an alien bow, a lich, a deer. Oh, there's 2 deer. A goblin, a mountain lion. Rats, a troll, there's a wolf. Let's just see what that looks like. Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna try doing that. I would really like to use a deer if I could. Let's throw those deer down and see what we can do. Alright. Let's try and hide you right behind the wall there. That's interesting. I wonder if I use... I don't know if I'll actually do it. But if I did, it would look something like that. There's always there's this balance to the kind of things that the Bravil castle can have, where we want to find the right balance of making it not seem too wealthy, like almost like what any of the other counties would look at Bravil and they'd be like, these guys are actually really poor. Like they're kind of fake rich in a way. Alright, I think this is way better than it was when we started. This has come a long way. So I think I might say goodbye to the noble quarters, and we might move over to the servants' quarters now. Okay, so here's the servants' quarters. So this is going to be different tone. Very different tone. I think the idea with the servants' quarters is that these are people who are kind of like good people. As opposed to the nobles' quarters, where I guess they're not good people. Let's put another bed in here. I feel like the servants' quarters, in a way, is going to be a little bit conspiratorial, in the sense that these servants are possibly stealing things, and in general, they don't necessarily comply with everything that goes on at Bravil Castle. They're kind of like normal people who live in the castle. Okay, so I have a lot of clutter that we're going to put in here. Oof, okay. I would like to put more of these sacks. I actually really love the idea of using sacks rather than barrels, because I think that like a barrel would be suitable for like Coral or Shaden Hall, because it's kind of like a refined way of transporting something. Meanwhile, in Bravil, they primarily just use these bags. Okay. So I have to think of, maybe you guys can help me brainstorm different miscellaneous items we could place here. We have baskets. Let's place some baskets around. Just random stuff. Cactus. Some empty wine bottles hidden away a bit. Yeah. Do hidden wine bottles. Cheap wine bottle empty. We'll have them hidden. This one hidden beside the bed. One back here. think I have one on that shelf right there. Might put it down because there's actually a spot underneath the shelf. Put one back there too. Cool. A few hidden wine bottles. Let's put some of them that are not empty too. Ooh. The good stuff. Let's put a brandy bottle behind this crate. Okay. Stolen jewelry. Yeah, we can do that. We have a... Let's see, gotta think of a good place to put a piece of stolen jewelry. I feel like almost on one of these shelves, just for the player who really is looking through. Let's see, is there a necklace? Necklaces, amulet. There we go, amulets. We have amulets, Mara. Scarecrow is asking, are some of those assets placeholders? I don't think any of these ones are specifically placeholders. I think most of these ones could make it into the final game. It depends if they're going to... Some of them could be redone. It's possible that they're going to be changed up, but I think that these ones are semi-final. Okay, so we have amulets here. What do we want to do? A ring? A ring is something people would steal. I think it'll just be a BSK, that's what it is. BSK jewelry ring. Let's make it like a pearl ring. That sounds like a Bravil kind of a jewelry. Brass pearl, bronze pearl. Just make it brass pearl ring. That'd be hard to find. Right there. Ooh, maybe that's a little too far up. Let's put it back there. I should look through the BSK miscellaneous items too. There's a few good things here. Shears? Sure, let's put shears here. Jades, we have ores. Could put some tin ore, that might be interesting. I don't know if the castle would have that though. Oh, wait, we have a scale? We have scale weights, but we don't have a scale? Oh man. BSK scales. This is one of my favorite. It is one of my favorite items. I don't think it is set up. Let's see. I love the physics system in Oblivion. Ooh, that's a big weight. Okay. Let's try and see if this works. Come back. Shrink it. I don't think this weight scale works. Doesn't seem to. Scales are cool. Okay. I think this area is just a good opportunity to put a bunch of random different things. Nails. Stone block. These are all the Hearthfire items. Hinge. Yeah, I'm gonna put a bunch of these things, I think. Straw. Whoa, whoops. I have my physics turned on. It just went through the floor. Okay, that's cool. The straw actually seems to fit pretty well right in the shelf. Looking like, hey man, it's Tori from Shapeless Gaming. Just want to let you know that you're killing it. Aw man, thanks, dude. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Shapeless Gaming stuff, they've been doing a lot for the modding community. They did a lot for me too. They do reviews of mods, which if you're a modder is just like amazing stuff. Like it's so cool when you make a mod. You spend a whole lot of time invested into figuring out how to get it going, and then a lot of it's kind of like a little bit quiet, but it really changed my experience with modding to have the guys from like Shapeless Gaming do a review of some of my mods, because like it's super cool. They do mod reviews. There's two guys that do it, and they have a great time. Like they do kind of a comedy thing with it. They're really nice guys. But yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, you guys are really awesome. But yeah, it's so cool. The modding community, like getting to meet people and talk to people wherever they are in the world. Like a lot of these people I would have had like no chance of ever really talking to. Like I live over in Vancouver, and it's just awesome to get to have just conversations. Like, you know, it's about Skyrim, or it's about gaming, and just the ability to like talk to other people who, you know, they're not from your neighborhood or anything. They're not people you might see at the grocery store or anything, but it's completely global. And I think that's something really interesting that we're all learning. We're all kind of figuring it out. We're all finding how the internet works and how we can exist and communicate and collaborate on it. Might put some ingots. Ingots look cool. Copper ingot, yeah. I want to make sure these shelves have like a bunch of random goodies so that you can pretty much just go wherever. Cactus tools too, like saws and hammers. Oh, totally. Saws and hammers, yeah. Definitely add that next. A brass ingot. Wow, that's kind of... Let's see if we can find a saw. Cool, yeah, this works. I think it's really cool with like mod review YouTube channels, because there's so many people who have different takes on it. And for like the longest time, I was so curious to see like to find people who would do YouTube reviews of mods, because it was like one of the coolest moments for me, being able to actually hear people talk about your mods as opposed to somebody commenting in a chat or something. Like, that's cool. It's cool to have people comment and to see people speaking through text, but it's something completely different to see you know, like a human being playing your what you created. And somebody who, you know, I've had my friends play my mods and stuff, and it's usually me kind of convincing them and being like, hey man, can you check this out please? You know, can you make sure it's not broken? Which is completely different from somebody finding it just naturally finding your mod and kind of organically having an experience with it. Swartzer, the first time I was featured in a review, I was like, I made it, lol. Yeah, it's such a great like feedback, and it's something that when somebody goes through learning these tools, when they're learning how to do this stuff, they're hoping that they'll get to that point eventually, and if they keep pushing through with it, they do. Like, it's really just a matter of when. I think that's true about everything in life, is like if you dedicate yourself to something and you push through like the easy parts and the hard parts. Like right now, what I'm showing is I'm adding clutter and stuff, which is almost like the icing on the cake in a way, where like it's fairly simple, but there's a lot of groundwork that went into setting all this stuff up. And even as a level designer, like, I get to work with the 3D assets and these textures and stuff that other people already made. Like, they set all this stuff up, and then I get to be the person kind of going through and setting it up. So Lurking Lion, when you're planning out a room like this, how do you know what and where to place things throughout the area you have? A lot of it happens really organically. Like, I kind of start to figure out like what's the scale of an area. So like, for instance, this one, everything's all blocks. So I'll start with all these blocks and I'll place these out in a way that I think is pretty cool and is enough space for the player. I'll hop in game too, and like I'll test it out. I'll look around. Right at the start of the stream, I was going through and kind of walking around. I might hop back in because it's kind of towards the end of the stream, so I might hop back in and then do one kind of final run through the areas that I've kind of worked on today. I think I'll actually do that right now. It feels like a good way to end it off. But a lot of it really happens organically. Like, it's kind of similar to like how an artist would design a scene. Is sort of, you start with these things that you know are good. Like you might have certain light sources or things like that. But yeah, there's tons of different ways. Some people will draw like maps and stuff before they even hop into the creation kit to start building stuff. I like to work with what I know is going to be true. So like I work with the assets that are already in the game. And so I don't do a lot of pre-planning. Okay, we're going to hop into Bravil Castle. Alright. So this is our beauty. This is our baby. We're going to go to the servants' quarter first, because that's the last one we were working on. Okay, so this is the one we were just working on. We have this room here. We have this one over here. Here's those items we had placed. Hopefully it's not too laggy. It kind of looks like it might be a little bit laggy to me, but... And we'll go over here. One of the best processes that I think is really good is hopping into the game and running around. I think that's one thing that really couldn't be emphasized enough for level designers, is just hop around, run around, give it a shot and see what the scene feels like. Yeah, this is coming along well. I'm going to run over to the noble quarters too. Oh! Okay. I remember we put this Minotaur here. I wasn't expecting it to be so close though. Okay, I got a quick save, otherwise if I die, everything ends. So here's the Minotaur. Here's the Minotaur. We actually just placed this guy for fun. Hopefully he'll stop, because we didn't fully nav mesh. Oh my god, he keeps going. He gets around though. He fits in here. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make the final cut. Can he get in here? I wonder if he can pass through these doors. No, he can't. We're safe in here. Alright. So we have a couple... we have some stuff here. Coins. Cups. Ooh, there's a little strong box back there. The very strong lock on it. Let's try to run through. There we go. Some interesting stuff in here. Just starting to clutter this room. Okay, we're gonna take this Minotaur out. But yeah, Tori, Lurking Lion, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to create these things. But it's very fun. Oh man, I love this room so far. This room is really cool. These banners, there's windows there, the Minotaur. Alright. I think that may be the stream for tonight. I always feel a little bit like, oh man, like whenever I come around to ending the stream, because it usually gains viewers over time. And so I feel like I always kind of feel like I'm letting people down when I end it, but it has to be ended sometime. But I think there's tons of Bravil Castle to keep building. So the next stream I do will probably be on Bravil Castle again. And we'll keep on working. I really want to work on Bravil Castle Dungeon. So that may be the next stream. So we'll be working in this room. There's not much in here yet. Cactus Bob, the lighting seems fine to me, gives the atmosphere of a castle in hard times. Yeah. I'm really stoked about it. I'm really liking the lighting. It's a little dark in some places, but I think in the dungeon, it makes sense for it to be dark. I'll have to fix that. Alright, I'm gonna head back to the throne. And yeah. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming by and chatting. It gives me a lot of motivation to have fellow, Skyrim modders interested in this stuff. I know there's tons of people who are really fascinated by Beyond Skyrim, and they're excited for it to get released. We have a lot of content going on at different stages, so there's some things that are pretty much almost done, and then there's other things where we still have a lot of work to do. In my opinion, the best way to cure your excitement for Beyond Skyrim is by getting involved in the project. We have ways to get involved. There's Discords. We have a Beyond Skyrim community outpost. That's a kind of a public Discord. You don't have to be on the team to get in that one, but that's a good way to kind of get in touch with people. We also have a website. We have applications with the website. I'm not sure if the applications are working right now. I've heard that they were broken. I'm not sure if they're fixed yet. But definitely, if you want to get involved, check out the community outpost.
You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
And yeah, like there's tons of ways to contribute. Like, get into it, get involved. The thing is, if you get on the team, you get access to the project. So that means you get all the files. You can hop in the game and see where stage the whole Beyond Skyrim is at. So there's many perks to to joining the team, and yeah, I mean, it becomes really fun to create this stuff. At first, it's difficult because you're learning all these tools and you're learning this creation kit, but eventually you kind of get you learn about it, and you start to be able to use it as an artist, where you can actually just create whatever your mind imagines. So yeah, anyways, gonna start closing down now. Thanks again to everybody. If you want to check out this stuff, if you want to check out these streams in the future, definitely hop onto the Twitch, create an account or something, and click follow, and then you'll get notified. I also post on the Beyond Skyrim subreddit, and I also have a Twitter. I think my Twitter's on my Twitch page, so if you look at that, I have a Twitter. I usually post stream notifications on the Twitter. In the past, I've also uploaded a lot of screenshots too, so if you feel like kind of keeping in touch, that's a good way to do it. Because yeah, I've been pretty active on that in the past. I'm gonna try and uploading more screenshots and stuff. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming by. I'll be doing this again sometime within the next month for sure. But yeah, I hope you all have a good evening. Maybe play some Skyrim mods or something for the rest of your evening. And take it easy. Alright. Peace out, everybody. Have a good night.